series and have cut into the Mavericks lead. It's now 2-1 Dallas after a road win by LA. In fact, the road teams are now 3-0 in this series. It's Playoff Central Live presented by State Farm. Matt Weiner, Carlos Boozer, Ryan Hollins right there. A lot of questions about this Clipper team given their recent history, about their competitive will, about what's going on between the ears, as Kawhi Leonard put it earlier this week. How important is it moving forward, not just for this series, but to their collective psyche and to the psyche of Clippers fans that they could get a win on the road tonight?
Yeah, I thought it was almost a must-win. We use that term loosely, but I just felt like Dallas had dominated them in L.A. in those first two games. So coming back here, showing some grit, getting a good win, even with Luka having a monster night, they still got the victory. I thought it was necessary just to give them, just for themselves to have that confidence moving forward in the series.
Yeah, Bulls, they couldn't go down 0-3. There's no way. And you look at this team, they're contenders. You would put them pound for pound.
They should be, right?
Pound for pound against the Lakers, pound for pound against the Nets, Philly, Milwaukee, whoever you want to put in that conversation. So with Kawhi Leonard as decorated as he has been and spectacular, Rondo joining, playoff Rondo, Paul George joining the party, they had to get this win. And to think that you just be losing to Luka Doncic, just essentially one-on-one, who's been utterly amazing and a rising young star in this league, I just don't think it's his time. It should be, in quotations, the Clippers' time. So, game, huge, impactful win.
Well, I mean, again, based on the roster, it was hard to understand what happened the first two games of this series. Dallas is a really, really good offensive team, and were again tonight. They hit 20 of 39 from three-point range. But the Clippers have so much firepower on both ends of the floor, and tonight shot nearly 58%. What keeps them from performing this way on other nights?
Chemistry is still a factor with the Clippers, however you want to put it. They haven't practiced much. I know COVID has been tough on each and every, one of these NBA rosters and teams as far as getting a lot of work in. But, it's just been tough for the Clippers. And Kawhi Leonard, he's not a natural facilitator. He's a scorer. He gets buckets. And you thought that Rondo would just be the missing piece. It hasn't worked so lightly with that. So, these guys, their calling card should have been defense. And it had been defense. Luka had been doing whatever he wanted on the offensive end. They can get stagnant at times, but I thought there was a consistent effort to share the basketball tonight. And defensively, they got after Luka. He had 44, but he had to work through 4 quarters to get it, and I thought he just ran out of gas.
Yeah, great point. I mean, I thought the Clippers did a good enough job defensively to get this win tonight. Shot the ball very well, shared the ball very well, did a good job. And I still feel like Dallas did a good job as well. They played very well down the stretch, but I feel like Luka did get tired. Yeah. He's been carrying this team. Need a little bit more help from Porzingis, some other guys, especially moving forward. Listen, Kawhi Leonard is a champion.
Yeah.
Couple times over. So if he sees a little clink in the armor, a little chink in the armor, he may attack this. If they tie this series up 2-2 going back to L.A., watch out.
Dallas led this game by 19, and, good for the Clippers showing some resilience, which has been lacking at times. Remember last year against Denver, a lot of folks accused this team of quitting, essentially. This would have been an opportunity to do just that. The light bulb went off, something happened, and they decided to compete in this game and in this series and turn things around. And maybe this is the sort of moment that can launch them to something greater.
Yeah, I think it was great. I mean, this game was really in the balance most of the game, and they kind of pulled away a little bit towards the end of the game, which they needed that confidence to, sometimes when you're in the middle of a series, you got to realize that, okay, can we beat this team? Now they know they can beat this team, even with the history of last year, getting to the conference finals and what have you. They got to have a way in this playoffs and against Dallas to find a way to win, and they did that tonight as a group of guys. Can they carry that in the game 4, and what will Dallas do to offset that?
I think that, nothing like a little piece of humble pie. And sometimes you got to come out and you got to give yourself to the game of basketball. You got to dive on the floor. You got to remember the plays. You got to come together. You can't forget a box out. You can't forget a rebound. I can't tell you how important the little things are. And I think, honestly, being honest, we got to give a different level of respect to Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
Luka Doncic is a bona fide star in the league. He's a top 5 player. His name should be mentioned, even though there aren't championships yet. But with the LeBrons, with the Currys, with the KDs, he's shown us this type of performance. And I thought that respect was there. Good job of Ty Lue of throwing multiple defenders on it. We saw Rondo late in the game. Terrence Mann got to put some energy. Kawhi Leonard had him in spurts. And that's just what it may have to be right now to guard him. But I think he garners that type of respect with his ability to score one-on-one. And then when you play coverage, he picks you apart and hits guys for wide open shots.
Yeah, I mean, his stat line tonight, 44, 9, and 9. Did a great job of getting everybody involved. And he shot over 50% again. He's a handful. And to your point, I thought Ty Lue did a good job of throwing buys out on him as well. But Luka is unguardable right now.
It is amazing the numbers he's putting up, not only in this series, but over his relatively young postseason career. And you sort of take him for granted at this point. He's still really young, but he's putting up these crazy numbers. He was 15 of 28 from the field, 7 of 13 from three-point range tonight. He had 9 assists and 9 boards. 5 turnovers is acceptable for the amount of time he has the ball in his hands. You're okay with 9 turnovers there and 44 points. We'll hear from him in a little while. First of all, let's backtrack. Jason Tatum has made his way to the podium in Boston after his 50-point night in the Celtics win over the Nets. Let's hear from him.
Start with Davide Chinolato.
Hey, Jason, congratulations for the performance.